Welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Melinda Dowston, and it is wonderful to have you with me for our weekly I Ching forecast for the week commencing the 8th of December 2025. Welcome. Right, last week we had an action-packed week. We had Hexagram 26, the taming power of the great. All those changing lines. I'm sure you experienced the intensity of the week and the intensity of Hexagram 26 really calling us to learn how to be super focused, how to channel our energy, our chi, and be hyper focused on what is really important, not to waste our energy in being wild, okay, and undisciplined and all over the place, finding a way of sucking up our energy, sucking in the breath, and just being hyper focused and in our calm center. Really challenging to do. We had those changing lines really coming to challenge us to not push forward even though we want to accept where there's a stoppage, where the wagon is coming to a stop, and to be that gilded ball, right? Realizing how we can transform our energy of being wild by changing the nature of it. Now, I spoke last week about the incident of my vehicle, my car, and I hate to tell you, with that wagon, with the axle tree removed, the second vehicle went down as well, and is so down, it needs a part imported to get it going again. Oh my goodness. Okay, that changing line has come to curse me, and hopefully it did not curse you. But where was that stoppage this week where you were brought to a stop? Where were you really being forced to focus on being super focused? Where was that the tool, the thing that got you through the week, that got you to an insight? And of course, that second hexagram of 53 development, that long-term picture of moving things forward towards the bigger vision, towards the bigger process of putting one foot in front of the other, making progress, developing something, building something for the long term. Where was your attention drawn to these themes in the week that was, and what did it mean for you to have an insight, a perspective from the I Ching? If anything came up for you, please do share a comment. Okay, this week there's only one changing line, okay? Doesn't mean it's not a doozy, but one changing line, and let's get into what this week is asking us to pay attention to. Our first hexagram for this week is hexagram 51, shock. Shake up. Okay, taking action, energy. A doubling of the thunder trigram. Thunder on the bottom, thunder on the top. Movement and energy inside, movement and energy outside. A doubling and intensification of the urge to move, to shake up, to do, to accelerate. This energy can sometimes come as a shock, surprise, something unexpected, shaking up the life, right, or the work. Like we have a shaking of a tree and things start falling out the tree. And its energy is to clear, to move, to excite, and to engage, and to just rumor us into something we're needing to pay attention to. So you'll find this week will feel a bit hectic. This energy really brings not just that shake up and that energy, but also the exhilaration of all our nerve endings, right, being on red alert, okay, hypersensitive. So just be aware that part of this hexagram, part of what we learn in this acceleration and this intensification of alertness is to take care of ourselves, to stay calm, to stay focused. And I always talk about this idea of protecting the egg, protecting the sacred vessel that you are carrying, this purpose, this thing that's in front of you, the thing that's most important to do in this week. We're carrying the sacred vessel, we're carrying the sacred egg, this precious thing in our hands. Put into your hands whatever it is as a symbol that is precious and fragile and needing care, maybe a tiny little animal of some kind. And we put into our hands a thing that's precious and purposeful, and we do not lose our minds, okay? We do not lose it, because the urge to lose it is strong when things are just, the energy is pumping down. So every front of our lives will call our attention to taking action this week, to stepping into the flow and realizing that it is an intensification, but there's an opportunity for us to jump forward and to clear the energy, because when we have a big storm, when the thunder and the lightning hits, like this hexagram represents, there's this wonderful clearing, right? That smell of rain, petrichor, right? That smell of rain, the clearing out of the air, all that static energy, all that dust, all that energy that's held in suspension, whoosh, released and cleared. So something accelerates, something clears, but we have to stay focused on the egg, the precious thing that we are carrying, the thing that's important in front of us. One changing line, and it is in the top position, in the 6th position, a culmination of an intensification. Oh, what does this line bring us? Well, this line is an interesting one. It really does bring challenge. It indicates things are really hitting fever pitch here, right? There is some kind of culmination and maximization, right? You see that line has reached its fullness. Things have really culminated in overwhelming, okay, it can be totally overwhelming, the challenges and the action that is required. And when we are really in this zone of like, okay, shock and energy, we can totally lose it. We can totally lose the focus. We can totally lose our calm and our center and our clarity. And we cannot then function if we aren't able to find that still place in the center of the storm. Think of a hurricane. What we need to do is get out of the drama of the hurricane itself, okay, the storm itself or the cyclone, and we need to get into the center of it where it's, and we need to move with that center as that storm moves. Okay, so this is going to be a great, powerful symbol for this week of us being in the eye of the storm. Okay, getting into the center of it, being absolutely calm, and then the storm is moving around us. Because a part of this changing line says, it comes to your neighbor first, right? It comes and hits other people first. And as long as you don't let yourself be infected by this panic, all right, you will be fine. You will get through it. You'll stay in the center. But you can see around you people going into a wobble. Okay, so when you see people going into a wobble around you, all right, when you see the storm starting to come in and it affects your neighbor, okay, it's coming in, it affects people around you, your network or your environment or your family members. As you see that energy coming in, what you do is you realize, oh, okay, go into the center of the storm, all right. Don't be infected by the panic. So there's an energy here where we are in choice. We might be totally out of control of the circumstances happening all around us. It might be that these issues are impacting people around us and not ourselves directly, but we can be infected by that panic, all right, by that fear and that energy and that challenge. We can be infected by it. And this changing line says we are in power, right? We have the choice to go into the calm space, because once we are in that space of drama, once we have lost it and our mind is spinning, okay, around the eye of the storm, not in the eye of the storm, we've lost the plot. We have lost it. And we have to kind of wait it out until the storm all dies down. We can be in choice this week of being at the center. Do whatever you can in your life, whether these issues affecting you are small or large. Do whatever you can that you know how to do to reach out and pull yourself back from having your energy invested in all the drama happening around you and bring it back into the eye of the storm, okay? Just being in the center and then moving with that center as it moves. Because if you don't move, if you aren't adaptable and moving with it, the back end of that hurricane, that cyclone comes and whacks you on the back of the head. Okay, we have to move with the eye of the storm. Okay. This is the challenge for the week. There's an opportunity for us to accelerate and cycle through energy. I mean, this might not necessarily be challenge energy. It might be just things all just accelerating quickly. Okay. So trust your life. Observe what's happening for you. But whatever it is, whether it's a challenge or it's a victory or it's power or it's abundance, whatever is this energy that's circling around us in the storm, we need to get to the eye of the storm and be calm and clear and rational and not let it infect us. We don't need this drama. Keep it at bay, but place a healthy boundary and banish the drama out of your inner sanctum. It gives us a second hexagram. It gives us a hexagram 21, biting through. You know this one, the structure of the hexagram. It's an open mouth that wants nourishment, but there's an old piece of leather or a piece of wood that's preventing our jaw from closing. You can see that little piece of wood there in the mouth, the open mouth. And this hexagram is all about being vigorous in biting through. So this week, both hexagrams are about energy, action, and doing something. This is not passive. This is not waiting it out. This is about doing, and being hyper calm in the process. Hexagram 21 says there's an obstacle, and the way we deal with it, we don't love this thing to death. We don't rationalize with it. We smite it. Okay, we bite through what is in front of us with vigor and energy, right? We don't try and logicalize it, all right? That's a word, I don't know. Seems right. We don't bring logic to the party. We bring energy and action and decisive doing. This hexagram is often associated with legal matters, with using the arm of justice to tackle an issue with the sword of law. And so that might be something that you can work with in whatever situation where you've got this obstacle that's stuck in your mouth. Either which way, action and energy and movement and purpose this week, staying calm, not losing our minds, being in charge of our destiny, our energy, and being directed and focused and energetic is how we maximize this week. Unfortunately, it is not a relaxing pullback retreat week. It is the all in, doing, action, resolving, tackling, going for it. And then where we land up as a result of that is we land up liberated, free, clear of something, ready to move on. The energy is clear, the storm has passed, and it's fresh and it's new and it's ready for the next step. If you found this episode useful and interesting, please a thumbs up, a like would be great. Hit the subscribe and the bell if you're on YouTube, and of course the follow button if you are on the podcast to get the episode straight into your app. And I look forward to connecting with you very soon for our next weekly forecast. Until then, take care.